Hello, dear one. I am the creator of my own reality. Now take a moment and just feel what gets alive, becomes alive, gets activated, has a reaction, has a response to that statement. And I want to ask you to just repeat it with me or say it from within. I am. I want to really see if we can make that shift together, but it has to be felt. I am up here is just three letters. That's it. But I am, when we take that inside or take our attention inside and feel I am, and I always invite you to check out some of my previous videos and meditations around that because it has to be felt. So let's say this together, but do it with the feeling. I am the creator of my own reality. And just notice what happens inside. Maybe nothing, maybe a lot, or anything in between. But just notice it. Don't try and fix it or change it or judge it. We're really learning to find out and realize that I am the creator of my own reality. So we have all heard that I am and everything we put behind it is what we create, right? And then there's been movements in the past where you just say I am, and then you say a lot of things. I'm this, I'm love, I'm la 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 la. So that was a whole movement about people saying I am. Maybe some of them had the direct experience of it, and that's where the magic comes in, not just from speaking it, not just from affirming it. I would say it's better to say it one time and spend a minute, 5 minutes, an hour to really, really feel it. Once you feel your I am presence, then you can start realizing that that is where creation comes from. And anything that is in our experience, in our creation, can only come from this sense of I am. And then whatever we put around it or in front of it, consciously or unconsciously. Most of us, because we live in a world where we have been cut off from our I am presence, so most of us have put a lot of gunk, limitations, fearful things, programming as the first thing that we identify with. And that's why our life looks the way it does and feels the way it does. Because whatever is the first thing covering our I am presence experience is what we see created as our world, as our reality. And that's why it is so, so important that all these unconscious layers and slides and everything we've put in front of our I am, we need to know what they are. eventually we come down and down and down in all these layers. And then I would say one of the closest ones to I am is actually I'm separate from I am. I'm separate. I am not the I am as the creator of my reality. No. These life circumstances is what is creating my life circumstance, my life experience. So we need to know what it is. I would say the first thing is, yeah, I am separate. We're not saying that, we feel it, right? I'm not God. No, I'm as far from God as can be. That's what happens. But that's not the truth. It's just a program, a filter, a veil. That is the first thing we meet, even as we're born, maybe, that's the filter we move through. And then, the one that is, there's something wrong with me. I don't deserve it. All these things that I've talked about, you might go back and watch the video here um, that says we were not born in sin. We were born into the matrix. And I've talked a lot about the matrix or the false matrix. That could be the first layer. You're not God. You're separate from God. And that's why you're not good enough. That's why you're incapable. So after that separation from the divine, as a program, as a belief, then all these other ones are built on top. Now, many of us, we have been working on all these layers with therapy and retreats and meditation, workshops, um, all kind of things, like breath work, plant medicine, so many things, right? To start regulating our nervous system, which is completely discombobulated because it feels like it is separate from the source, I am, where everything comes from, where everything is created from, which is the fullness of everything. It is infinite. It is everything. You cannot get away from it except if we do this and think we are what we see here. It's like darkness, limitation, not the divine. So we need to know these layers. And that's why we've been working with this for so long. And lately, I have been talking about, well, the video I just suggested is like, we are born as if we are born into sin. Even though we may not be Christian or believe any of that, at the core, sin really means missing the mark. We missed I am, I went whoop here, like, oh, I'm separate over here. Oh, I'm separate over here. So very important that we start seeing that what we have been identifying with as sin, separation, is simply a lie. It's a program, very outdated program, because we don't want to live like that anymore, right? We're slowly moving into our I am presence as our true identity, but conscious. And that's where we want to be. So the more we start feeling I am and start liberating ourselves from all the past, all these past layers of limitation, and then we start feeling this, oh, oh, now I know who I am. I am that. I am that I am. You may recognize those two quotes. One is Nisargadatta, and the other one is in the Bible. So it's the I am that we start realizing as our true essence, our true self, our true identity. And that identity does not have the covering anymore because we are not feeding the past anymore. And it's probably past days, weeks, months, years, lifetimes all cluttering this I am presence, the light, the creator. I am the creator of my reality. I am, when I liberate, I am from all this gunk, then I can start feeling, oh, and it's a precious feeling. It's so precious. Many times, for me at least, I mean, I've talked to this for a long time, but I still remind myself every day and feeling it deeper and deeper and deeper. And it gives a sense of relief, a deep breath, relaxation. It just happens because when we realize that, it's almost like we unhook from these layers and we can finally like, oh, and then all these layers that have caused us anxiety and fear and depression, that moment we realize I am that I am, then this like, oh, then I don't need to be so afraid anymore, then I don't need to work so hard, then I don't need to this or that. i I am that, and I am the creation of my own reality. Yesterday's video, you can watch it here, click that link. I talked about how one of those really core layers in all of us that I have been really moving through lately is that I can't do it. I'm not able to. And that's where I'm still identified with the victimhood, the victim of the past. And until I liberate myself and realize I'm not a victim, I am the creator. But as long as I say I am a victim, I can't do it, then I'm in that separate sense of self, having no clue who I am, just totally believing, yeah, I can't do it, I'm a victim, I will always be poor, I will never be loved, never be good enough. So as that has been releasing what I talked about, like we need to address that one. We need to face it head on, like see it for what it is. And the more we do that and realize it for what it is, it's like, no, that's my past. I'm not my past. I am, I am that I am. I am not all these limitations. And then the more, in my experience at least, I just feel like, oh my God, it's beginning to be real, right? Realized it's becoming real in my experience, where before what was real in my experience were all these limiting identities. But because I don't give that my energy anymore and give this my energy instead, it is becoming more real. Just like this has been more real because I've been feeding it all my life, maybe many lifetimes. I'm just feeding this. I am the creator of my own reality. That is probably one of the most empowering statements when we realize it, not when we say it without feeling it. And when that starts happening, everything changes, literally. But like I shared yesterday, I think I need to keep this alive all the time because there's this whole tsunami of the past that I've been feeding that still wants to be fed by me. So every time it's like, no, every time I feel the old limitations showing up, it's like, no, you can't do that. It's like, no. And then I go back and feel I am. And then as I feel I am, my I am presence, then I start feeling more and more I am the creator of my own reality. Now, If you can get to that place, start bringing it into everything you do. It's like that card. It's like that trumps everything, right? When you play poker or whatever it is, you go like, no, this one trumps everything. This is not the truth. This is the truth. I am the creator of my own reality. Boom. The more you feel it, the more exciting, empowering, enlivening. It feels it's an energy that just starts coming alive. And then you can start walking around, and every time you remind yourself, not just here, don't just say it, feel it, say it, and then feel it. Remind yourself and then feel it. So it's like a whole new loop you create, a new neural pathway where the old ones, like, no, I'm separate. They're just starving because you're not feeding them. And then the neural pathways are here. Now they can connect and start realizing, feeling, knowing I am the creator of my own reality. I am creating my own reality. The more you can stay with that, and this is, of course, as always, my own experience, does not mean it resonates with you, but if it does, it's very powerful. And then the fear of not having enough, not being enough, things not working out, you will start recognizing them more and more for what they are: lies, false hypnotic suggestions from the past, programming. And this starts feeling so good that you have no more interest in feeding what doesn't feel good. It may feel familiar. I got it. I understand that one. But that's why we need to get over that hump where we normally would go to what is familiar equals safe, right? That's kind of how we've done it, where we are willing to, jump off the cliff and say, no, I want to feel this. I want to stay with this. I want to realize this. And then you put your intention there. The intention, as far as I experience it, is I am, with an intention, with the will that comes from within. My intention is to experience my true nature in its fullness, in its fulfillment, as peace. So, no, I don't want that. I want to experience, that's the intention, right? This is where I want to go. Your will is your intention. So make sure you know what you will. Do you want to be safe and familiar, or do you want to be fulfilled and empowered and realizing who you are again? Then we must constantly come back here. I would suggest first thing in the morning, do not get out of bed. And this is going to take some time, right? It's a whole new way of being. Take time, 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes, however much time you have, to really come into the feeling of I am. If that's all you do in the beginning, it's amazing. It's amazing. That's where we need to start. And then from there, you start realizing, no, I don't know that. That's crazy. No, now it's like, oh, I am the creator of my own reality. What a relief. What a relief. I don't want to leave this anymore. It's not worth leaving this felt sense. And then the more we do it, it starts growing us. It crowds out the old that wants to come in. It's like your light starts shining and gets brighter and brighter. And then this bright light, of course, which is now becoming more natural for you and your expression, that light will naturally dim all this limitation. And you don't even have to do anything for it. You just know what you want. And then you become aware of what you are. I am. But it starts with, I talked a lot about the longing, right? That's very important because that is this light knocking on your door, trying to come through. And the more you can stay with that, it just crowds this out, it dims it, and your light starts shining more and more. And it just feels so good. Now, what magic and what miracles can happen from there, that's going to be an individual thing, but it has to match I am. And I am has no limitations in its own expression, in its own essence. There are no limitations. The limitations happen when we engage in these suggestions. So we are in charge of it because I am the creator of my own reality. What a blessing. What a blessing. Let's hold here, my friends. Please reach out if you want to share something about it in the comments. If you want to let me know if you like it, click the like button. If you need help with this, it can be pretty sticky out here still, and it might be hard to just jump out of it from here. Maybe you need some help getting untangled from this fishnet, this spider web. And then once you have more and more energy available, it's going to be so much easier to land in here and choose it much more consciously, much more often, and really make it your new I am, or I am somebody. That's a nice bridge to move from one to the other, where you really keep feeling I am. I am somebody who is able to create my own reality. That might be a step before you can say, oh, I am creating my own reality. So please let me know how that goes. And I wish you a very fulfilling, expanding day as this energy I am. All right, my friends. Until we meet again.